G'day and welcome to another big edition of the Ballarat Football Netball League show. All thanks to McDonald's. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Shane Anwyl. Certainly a big Queen's birthday round. I know a few people had the opportunity to put their feet up, but the footballers went. It was business as usual.
Yeah, it was. It was a full round of senior football. The juniors enjoyed the weekend off, but it just keeps rolling through.
Absolutely, mate. And we saw a massive crowd over at Alfredton on the weekend. This will be the first game we talk up. Drew Petrie playing his way there for the Swans, and he was the hero on the day, Shano, with the match-winning 2 goals. Yeah, that's right. I think the Ballarat just had their noses in front there, in front of a massive crowd for the club for the day. It was fantastic to see. The 2 goals that Drew kicked there within the dying minutes certainly just really drove it home for the club, and it was a great win for them over Redan. Nice fairy tale finish as well. I know Drew, he didn't have the best day in front of the big sticks. He had 3 shots at goals from set shots. Now we know his strength is that you put him under pressure in general play, and he kicks those magnificent ones there. But great effort there by Redan, who will be ruining another disappointing effort there of having been in front for a large part of the game and then watching it slip away. Yeah, that's right. It's disappointing for Redan so far into the season. They're without a win. This is one they probably were every chance to get up. But it wasn't to be, and they've got a long season ahead for the rest of the year. Ballarat keep their slim finals hopes alive. The Sunbury Lions 88 defeating Sebastopol 50. This was a very one-sided game. The Lions led by 41 points at half-time, and that was all she wrote, really. Yeah, that's right. Look, Sebas went into this game. I think a lot of people sort of had some designs on Sebas winning this, and I'm sure they did have after a couple of good results over the last few weeks, taking down some top sides. Look, Sunbury was all class. They came through and certainly did what they had to do to get the win over Sebas there, I think. Yeah, that's what they did. They needed to make a bit of a statement after going down to City in their last encounter. So to come back like they did was fantastic. Jack Lant kicked 5 goals there for the other Lions. They've got a few injury concerns, but hopefully they can eradicate that in the next few weeks and get back to their full strength. Great to see James Keeble up forward there for the Boroughs, kicking 4 goals. Darley 19-21, 135, defeating Melton South 10-9, 69. The Devils kicked 12-13 to 5-5 in the second half. Yeah, look, a very strong display from Darley on Saturday, and look, it unfortunately for Melton South, it's had a few repercussions as well. So, look, Darley certainly, we know they're one of the strongest teams in the competition. They're making their way up towards the top of the ladder, and these big, strong wins over clubs like Melton South certainly going to put them in good stead later in the season. Certainly, the win that the Devils needed to have 40 scoring shots on the board for them to give them that confidence after a disappointing loss to Sebas the previous week. East Point 93 defeating Lake Windaree 74. Very tight game for the most part. The Kangaroos, they're proving to be very, very hard to beat at home. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they love it down there at Eastern Oval, of course, and we billed this as match of the round, the local match of the round. It certainly lived up to it for the weekend, and it was a great game. East Point, yeah, look, it was, what was it, 19 points in the end there, but they'll be more than happy with that margin and that win, and they keep on rolling on, East Point. They're just going along very nicely. Yeah, it probably raises a few concerns, though, for Lake Windaree. They played some great footy against South the previous week when the pressure was really on. But it's really been a bit of a win-loss for them in recent weeks, so they need to start winning back-to-back games, give themselves that consistency, which is something that's been a bit of a problem for them this year, but no doubt they've got the talent in the shed to be able to do it. Yeah, that's right, and they're in that logjam at the bottom part of the top 6 at the moment. All these wins that they're going to have are going to be vitally important as we get later in the season. Absolutely, mate, and the last game of the round 7 action was Bacchus Marsh. Too strong there for Melton, 149 to 41. How good they are, the Cobras. Their efforts after quarter time were just remarkable. They couldn't miss, Shano. Yeah, well, they certainly sent a strong message out to Melton and to the rest of the competition. We know Bacchus Marsh are a good club and they've been strong all season, and this just really reinforced it. It was a big day for the Melton Football Club. They had a special Guernsey for the cystic fibrosis fundraiser, so congratulations to Melton for getting on board with that very worthy cause and doing what they can
to raise funds. Unfortunately, the football result didn't go the way they wanted on the day, and well done to Bacchus Marsh on a very strong and resounding win.
Yeah, good kicking is definitely good footy. They showed that with 24 goals, 5. Absolutely fantastic. They kicked 2 goals, 3 in the first term, so to go bang and kick 22 goals, 2 after quarter time is fantastic. Benny Spate, Jackie Owen and Anwyl, so they shared 14 goals. Absolutely fantastic. Great effort there by the other 3 big guns who have come into the team. And we'll just have a bit of a look at the ladder. We've got a bit of a log jam up the top, mate. We've got 4 teams sitting on 24 points. It's outstanding.
It is. It's as close as it's been for many years. Percentage, obviously, is separating all those 4 clubs, and that's why it's going to be important to have good wins, good scores, and just keep going for the rest of the season. There's a break to the bottom half of the top 6 there, so there's 3 clubs on 16 points: Darley, Melton and Lake Wendouree. So it's very close, and I don't think anyone can certainly rest any of the weeks we've got coming up, because they're all going to be vitally important.
We got Lake Wendouree and Sebastian sort of sitting on the fringe. I can't see those are probably only 2 teams that could make the top 6 from now on. But what I love about the top 4 is we've got Bacchus Marsh. They didn't make the grand final last year. We've got Sunbury Lions, North Ballarat City went out in week 1 of the finals, and East Point just missed out on playing finals. So our new top 4 is looking very, very good, very fresh.
Yeah, very fresh, and a good mix of clubs too. Some clubs have been in finals for many years, and some who probably need to get back in there and have a good season.
Yeah, the big divide there between the East and the West. Two games of 2 sides apiece. As we look ahead to this week's big matches in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League, and we start with Bacchus Marsh and Redan, which will be live on 98.5 FM.
Yes, top versus bottom, this one here. So it's going to be all one way, unfortunately, for Redan. They're not going to break their winless streak for this week, and I fear Bacchus Marsh might carry forward their good form from this week against Melton and have a really decisive victory.
Wet conditions might play a bit of a hand here on this one here, but in terms of how the margin unfolds, I think Redan, they need to be playing maybe 3/4 of a game. They just need to be playing that consistency. I had a good look at them last weekend, and we saw what we've seen from them most of the year, where they're playing good football and then they drop away drastically. The other team gets in. So if they're going to be any chance, they'll need to play some good footy all the way through. An important game here: Lake Wendouree and Melton, live on 97.9 FM.
Yeah, we touched on the importance of wins with those clubs around the bottom half of the top 6 at the moment, and both Melton and Lake Wendouree, of course, on 16 points there, just in and just out of the top 6 at the moment. So both clubs will be itching for the win here. Look, I think it potentially could be a toss of the coin, but I think I'm going to go with Lake Wendouree at home.
I think this game has enormous importance for Melton, who started the year strongly, and in their last 3 or 4 weeks has been ordinary. So if they're any chance, I know they're sitting in 6th position at the moment, but if they want to play finals, this is the game that they have to win. They do so, that opens up a 4-point gap between 6th and 7th, and it'll be handy for them and give them that little bit of breathing space. Now the McCafe match of the round, Sebastopol versus Melton South. We will talk about very briefly about what's happened over at the Panthers. But Ash Manning is no longer coaching the Panthers, and Heath Pritchard has taken over.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, it's been well documented, a parting of the ways there between Melton South and Ash, and a little bit of a reshuffle in their coaching ranks, with Brendan Favola, of course, stepping back to be the assistant role rather than the joint coach. So Heath Pritchard steps in to take charge of Melton South from this week forward. So, of course, it has a little bit more meaning this week, particularly for Melton South, and good luck to the club for the rest of the season, and we hope they continue on well for the rest of the year. Having said that, though, I think I'm going to go with Sebas this week.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it really could go either way. Before all this transpired, I think Sebas would have been really confident that this would have been their game to take. I mean, what's on the line, they are sitting in 8th position, but a win here propels them back into the calculations here. So they desperately need to win that, and I think that'll be enough to get them over the line. But you never know when these things transpire. We saw with what happened with Ash last year. Last time he coached over for Lansfield in the FNL, and the Tigers got up the following week with a new coach there. So you just never know what can sort of happen there. So watch that one with great interest. Speaking of watching with great interest, we've got East Point, North Ballarat City. What a game this is going to be.
This is going to be a great game down there at Eastern Oval again. Two very strong Ballarat-based clubs who they're up the top, they're up and about, and both will be looking at this as a great challenge this game to get a measure where they stack up to each other. I think it can go either way this game. Both of them are playing really good football at the moment. I'll probably stick with my theme at the moment of home clubs, and we'll go with East Point.
Yeah, I will join you on that one. East Point have been fantastic. What actually does with this, if all the games go according to plan, we'll have the top three sort of be separated one game clear of the top four. So we expect Sunbury Lions to beat Ballarat and Bacchus Marsh to win. That's really going to change. That's really going to open up that gap again. And speaking of Ballarat and Sunbury Lions, that'll be the game we look at. And can Ballarat keep up that momentum and give Sunbury Lions a few headaches?
I don't think so, no. In a nutshell, it was great for them last week to have that win over Redan and all the hype that surrounded the day, which was a great day for the club, as we mentioned earlier. However, they're coming up against Sunbury, and we know what Sunbury are like. They've got good form, they've got good history, and they're playing nice football as well at the moment. So I think, unfortunately, Ballarat might just sort of fall back to where they might have been as far as the results over the last couple of weeks, and Sunbury to get the win quite easily.
I think what Ballarat needs to do is they need to find someone like another Mark Powling that can step up, because he played forward last week, traditionally playing in the ruck, and with Drew Petrie carving it up in the ruck, was able to give him plenty of opportunities. So that's what they need, a proven forward. Powling's got that, but unfortunately, you need someone who else to control the ruck.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah. We've got some big games coming up. Don't forget the McCafe match of the round, Sebastopol and Melton South. Make sure you jump on Facebook on Friday, see if you can tip your winner in that one. That should be a cracker. And of course, we've got Lake Windermere and Melton on 97.9 FM, and Bacchus Marsh and Redan on 98.5 FM should be a belter. Shane, thanks so much for joining us this week, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
My pleasure as always.